Alright, this is somewhat of a follow-up video to a video I just made on how to best use multiple herbal products. And what I want to talk about in this video is how to take herbal products from just kind of barely touching a symptom to really changing your life and your body. This is something that I've been wanting to cover since the holidays last year, December of 2019. Oh, you guys would be surprised, but stumps are really not that comfortable. Okay, here we go. So the holiday season of 2019 was one of the most stressful times of my life. I did not have the help that I needed. Business was kind of crazy. It was my first really big holiday season where I also had retailers signed on, and I just did not know what I was in for. So I truly had many a sleepless night, working until Augustine was up for school in the morning. And to be completely honest with you all, it was very bad. It was very bad. I look at photos of myself during there and I want to cry sometimes. Not only was I just so tired and exhausted and depleted, but my body was literally screaming for me to do anything for it. Photos of myself from last December, literally from my cheek down below my nose, all the way down my neck. I was covered in acne, painful cystic acne. And I might get, one or two of those, around my moon time, but it's not typical that I get just a crap ton like that, especially not down here. I also had huge bags under my eyes. My body felt very acidic. This is something maybe you all have noticed but didn't quite know how to pinpoint. It's when your body just feels like really wired and tight and rigid, and you almost get that taste in your mouth, like your saliva glands, almost like tasting copper or nickel, and your body just doesn't feel well oiled, if you will. So let's just say I got to a very exhausted place that I hope I can really prevent myself getting to again. And at one point, I realized in my office, with all of my ceiling to floor shelves just full of all the medicine that I could ever need, I was like, Tori, you are kidding yourself. Like, what are you doing? You have everything you need. What's going on? Like, help yourself. And honestly, at the point that I noticed that, I was not at a place where I could say, all right, time for some good old self-care. I need to take a bath and cook a meal and spend time with my son. No, unfortunately, I had several more weeks of this ahead of me. So what I was really looking at myself and saying was, I know I'm going to be in this place. What can I do to support myself in it? And so, sure, during that period of time, if I glanced at a tincture, I would take it. But how often that was happening and how consistently, not so much. Sure, I was making a little elixir for myself, like probably twice a week, nothing crazy, drinking a tea here and there, but not much. So what I realized was I needed to get serious. So my recommendation to anyone that is trying to literally change their lives with herbal products, whether this be chronic pain, chronic inflammation of any kind, stiff joints, oral pain, headaches, migraines, maybe postpartum, chronic urinary tract infections. I mean, anything that you're dealing with consistently, chronic stress and exhaustion that you're trying to manage and you're not fully devoting time to, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. No matter what you're doing, do it consistently. That is the most important thing with herbs that there could be, because, even herbalists, even those of us that are using herbal medicine, we have still used pharmaceuticals at one point or another, and we have still experienced the fact that, like, you get a cold, you take this medicine, it's gone in 10 days. You have depression, you take these antidepressants, you're not depressed for a while. so many things I could get into. They're quick, but they're literally rewiring your body. What happens when you get off those antibiotics? Your hair is brittle, your nails are brittle, your digestion is completely fucked. What happens when you come off of antidepressants or benzos? Really bad stuff if you're unaware. So anyways, I try to remind people herbs are not quick. Like, just to be totally honest, if you are looking for something really quick, they're not quick. But they will change your life if you let them. And they will change your life for the long run. And you will not have that like relapse period of like feeling awful without them and trying to figure out how to live without them. So that's because herbs are extremely supportive. They're supportive of the system of the body that you're using them for. They're typically supportive of the whole body. Plants in general just support us in so many ways. I mean, breathing, right? It's something we do nonstop every day that plants give to us. Eating. And yet we have these expectations that they're just gonna be a quick fix, or I took it for a week, it didn't work. Herbs don't work, right? How many times have we heard that? Oh, I tried herbs don't work for me. I've tried everything, it didn't work. I guarantee you, one, it could have been the wrong herbs, because that does happen. But two, more than likely, they were not being used consistently. And taking herbs consistently will change your life. I can promise you that. When you find the right herbs and you allow them to, you are open to the fact that fixing yourself, changing your body, changing the way a system of this complicated, complex body works, it's crazy. It's a lot of work. And so we should be so thankful during the process of taking herbs for several weeks, maybe even several months, at the tender, powerful, complex work that they're doing. So anyways, I'm going to get off my soapbox here and get back to my story. So in December, when I was going through this, I got out my Adaptogen Elixir. This is a powdered drink mix. I love this drink mix. It is some of my favorite adaptogen herbs. And this was a time where I needed adaptogens. We do not always need adaptogens, but if you are going through something temporary like that that's extremely hard on your body, adaptogens are a great way to say, body, I am so sorry, but we got to get through this. You and me, we got to do this. And so I got my adaptogen mix. I got my habituate tincture, which we talked about in the last video. That's like our multivitamin for our stress response. I got my comfort tincture, which is really my favorite tincture of ours for anxiety. My rest in peace tincture for sleep. My love honey, and my drinking chocolate. And here's what I did, okay? Every morning I took habituate. Sometimes first thing in the morning I would take comfort if I felt like absolute hell. So then throughout the day I would take habituate anytime I needed to. I would also take comfort anytime I needed to, as long as I was taking it every day, okay? Every single night. Every night. And this is actually something that's stuck for me. I still do this because I love it so much. I would make a drink with almond milk, our love honey, that adaptogen elixir, and sometimes a little bit of our mushroom drinking chocolate. And the love honey is actually something that I keep in my honey pot year round. I just finally decided to offer it to you all seasonally after so many people asked me, what's in your honey pot that you're always drinking? And I'll switch it up a little bit, but typically I take those powdered adaptogen herbs or powdered ginger and cinnamon. Anything is going to up your level of anything that you add that honey to. So I'll just add my little blends to my honey, and then when I'm making my adaptogen elixir, it's getting that boost from that honey, and I would drink that every night. And drinking that before bed was just totally calming the nerves, replenishing my endocrine system, telling my body we were going to get through this together. I would take a little bit of my rest in peace tincture before bed to make sure, even though I was only sleeping from like 2 in the morning to 6 in the morning, that I was getting a good rest while I was doing so. And that's important. Rest in peace is not going to give you any kind of hangover. It is just going to promote that you get that deep sleep that you need to while you're sleeping. It will also help you fall asleep if you're someone who can't get to sleep because you're thinking like crazy. So the bottom line here is that I was consistent. Another thing that I was very consistent with was washing my face. I do not use soap. A lot of you know that. I am strictly an oil cleanser, and I only wash my face usually one time, and that's before bed. If I'm like crusty and slept too hard, sure, I'll wash it again in the morning. But typically I'm going to oil cleanse before bed and do a little bit of moisturizing in the morning. So what I did was our Earth to Face. Earth to Face is my favorite for acne-prone skin. It's our oil cleanser. It's really nice for especially those stress and hormone-related acne. So every night before bed, I would take my Rest in Peace tincture. I would drink my Adaptogen Elixir. I would wash my face with the oil cleanser and a cloth. And I would really take the time to rub and massage around the sinuses, under my eyes. Another really nice treat for stressed skin is Gua Sha. Gua Sha is, I just can't talk about it enough. You can literally watch videos and watch people's faces change mid-video. Gua Sha is a really, really old practice where you're essentially taking a stone or a roller or a scraping tool, and you're starting from the middle of the face out, and you're really promoting that lymphatic drainage. You're really sort of sculpting your face is how you should be imagining it when you're doing it, and you're just getting that blood flow. It's stimulating. It's doing everything we need to keep everything just flowing and detoxing. So I was doing all of that. I was also doing a lymphatic massage after every shower. I was not showering often during that period of time. I didn't have a ton of time. But when I was, because I didn't have time to body oil outside of the shower, I would body oil in the shower. And I would literally take the time to completely oil myself head to toe in the shower while taking special attention to those very like lymph concentrated parts of the body with lots of lymph nodes under the armpits, around the breast, under through the neck, around the groin area. But really, when you're body oiling, you just want to take the time to massage your whole body head to toe. Your feet are also really important. So another thing you can do, and I didn't necessarily do that during this time, but I should have, is soaking your feet. This is a really underrated thing that people don't think about. Just soak your feet in some salt water. Something that I used to do in Colorado, I haven't done it in forever, but I saw somebody else doing it recently on Instagram, and it made me really happy. I had a little 5-gallon bucket, and I would, in Colorado, I had a wood burning stove. I would put a big pot full of water on the stove and let it get really hot, and I would fill my 5-gallon bucket with the hot water and Epsom salt while watching movies, and I would just let my feet soak that whole time. And I cannot tell you how good that is for your lymphatic, glandular system, blood flow, so many things in the body, pulling toxins, just so much. It's also doing incredible things for your nervous system, as is body oiling. So some of these like really simple things like soaking your feet, body oiling, they sound so simple, but yet they're doing so much for these really crucial systems of the body. The lymphatic system is such an important part of our body. It is literally what helps us to detox toxins. I really see it as, you know, people say your skin is like your outer liver, your biggest cleanser in the body where toxins are going in and out. I feel like the lymphatic system is what's between your skin and your liver. So those are your main detox systems. And so your lymphatic system is just right below the surface of the skin, and it's really pulling a lot of that work on trying to keep your body cleansed of toxins. So try to do everything you can during times of stress to just really encourage that those systems just keep chug-a-lugging for you, because it's hard what we put our bodies through. And so that was my story. And my story is really just to say, if you are in pain And maybe you have our muscle rub, our nerve swerve tincture, maybe you take CBD sometimes. Simply using the muscle rub, which is phenomenal, from time to time. We use ours literally in the morning and at night before bed. And you're just taking your nerve swerve tincture once a day, maybe a dropper, maybe a half dropper. You're taking CBD whenever you remember it. Of course you're still in pain. But let me tell you, the herbs in our muscle rub are not just anti-inflammatory herbs. They are amazing menders. So when you're applying that cream and really massaging it into your skin, it's doing a lot for your body. It's doing a lot for those frayed nerves and tendons and sprained muscles and whatever else you've got going on. And the nerve swerve tincture is one of the strongest, most potent tinctures that we make. So if you're dealing with chronic pain and inflammation, neuropathy of any kind, taking the nerve swerve tincture twice a day, consistently, every day, set an a timer alarm. Take it in the morning, take it before bed, use your muscle rub, take CBD regularly. I promise you, you will see a difference. And a lot of times people don't see a difference until they stop taking something, and then they're like, oh my God, I need it now. So bottom line of this whole video and this whole me preaching to you is consistency. Please, if you are trying to change your life, be consistent. Trust that the herbs are supporting you and that they are working really hard. And think about it. What if you are working on a job site, right? You're building a house. You've got your tools. You've got your truck with you every day, the materials you need. Let's say someone steals your truck. You go to the job site. You have nothing. You're like, what the heck? I can't do anything. I've got this whole job I'm working on. This is putting me a whole day behind. That is your body when you skip a day of herbs. Those herbs have been working so hard on mending and repairing those tissues, those systems of the body, whatever you're taking them for. You skip a day and they're like, what? Come back. So just remember, herbal medicine is not the same as modern medicine, as pharmaceuticals. You got to take a little more sometimes. You got to take it consistently and it will do its job. I'm not going to get too crazy into finding the right herbs for you in this video, but I will be doing our class on herbal energetics soon, and that will be really where we can start to dive into formulating yourself, how to know what herb is right for what you're going through, and how to really just dive into herbalism, period. Whether it's something you just want the knowledge for yourself and your family, or whether it's something that you are considering starting a business in. Maybe you already have one, but you want to take it a step further. Maybe you're only selling salves right now. Herbal energetics is what opened my heart and mind to just fully understanding herbalism and understanding plants. When I do plant walks with people, or even sometimes I just meet people online who have seen me on Instagram, they're like, I just don't understand how you keep all that in your brain. Here's the thing. I do have a lot in my brain, but if you know energetics, you can start to draw conclusions and make educated guesses on your own without having to research absolutely everything, just using your senses. So energetics is huge for understanding the body, for understanding plants, for understanding herbs, for understanding formulating. And a lot of times when people teach energetics, they're just teaching about the tissue states and about, touch, taste, smell. When I teach about energetics, I am teaching you about energetics not only in relation to our tissue states and our senses, but the tissue states of plants, the energetics and the actions and the constituents of plants. Because if you can start to think of plants in that way, you've got it. So I'm excited to teach that video. I'm waiting for my nice camera to get back. I want to make sure that that class is filmed really nicely because it is a class that I prefer to do in person. Typically it requires a lot of tasting and touching and smelling. But what I'm thinking about doing is just asking that before the class you have any plant ready. You could even go to the grocery store and get some dill or some basil, anything. So I'm excited for that one. Anyways, I feel like this was just one big ramble. I'm going to remember all the things that I meant to say, but hopefully this was a little bit helpful. I didn't mention teas, and I should have, but basically you can apply this to any herbal preparation that you are using for its actions to do something for your body. Just remember, consistency is key. All right. Thank you guys.